ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, dad, if you're listening. Welcome back to GM's Live. It's been quite some time. We've been battling with some, whether it be sickness or personal issues or whatever the case. GMs have been a little all over the place, but we've got enough people who are healthy and ready to go today. And we're here to not only bring you an episode of GM's Live, but a special episode of GM's Live, as we're going to be giving away our inaugural GM's Awards, our yearly awards, where we are going to give away some that have to do with our channel, some that have to do with sports, and so on and so forth. So we, of course, as per usual, myself, Will Polston, and Matthew Perry here along with us, as well as we have RJ Stroke from GMs for Hire also joining us, and we're gonna jump right into it, guy. Justin, welcome aboard. Welcome, COVID issues and Chelsea. We're gonna get to it, but we are going to address some in-house stuff per usual pretty quick. So, Matt, I know you were the one behind the polls. We as a group kind of decided what goes where for the awards, but it all came down to the fans. We put it out on our Twitters, put it out on our Instagrams, and we had multiple people vote on it, and they decided who our winners and losers will be for our awards. So, Matt, if you want to take it away with the first award, by all means.
All right. So, yeah, this year we started off kind of small. We had 5 different awards. The thumbnail of the year, upset of the year, worst coach of the year, which isn't really a positive award, athlete of the year, and championship win of the year. This went pretty well. So I think next year, the next last Wednesday of 2020 or Thursday of 2022, we'll do something like this again. But overall, this went well. Polls were on Instagram and Twitter. If you don't follow us there yet, follow us at GMs4 Hire. Definitely trying to add more to our social media presence. So this would include that as well. But we're going to start with our first award, that being thumbnail of the year. Will and I make the thumbnails. I don't know if it's common knowledge, but to us it is. The nominees this year were Matthew Stafford to the LA Rams, Buster Posey is Buster Posey Hall of Famer, 10 random Hall of Famers, our most recent video, and then Jeopardy Death Match. And after quite a few votes, the winner was 10 Hall of Famers, 10 random baseball Hall of Famers. I'm sorry, it's been a while since we were live. It just edged out Matthew Stafford to LA. I should have made something as to where you could see all 4 of the nominees, but this one did edge it out. I made this one actually, and it is one of the ones I'm more proud of. So thank you guys who voted, whether it was for this one or any of the other ones. Just thank you guys for voting. I enjoy the participation. Next one, we'll move to upset of the year. We had Michael McDowell winning the Daytona 500. Purdue upsetting, I believe it was, what was it, Iowa and Michigan.
Number 3,
State.
Iowa, yeah.
Yeah. Texas A&M upsetting Alabama, and then Illinois defeating Penn State in 9 overtimes. And this one wasn't as close as the thumbnail one. Texas A&M blew out the voting here. Defeating Alabama was a big upset. Of course, it's a big deal whenever you defeat the Crimson Tide. And apparently the people agreed. So Texas A&M brings home that award.
Don't get me wrong. Michael McDowell got a lot more votes than we expected.
Yeah.
That was a nice number too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, McDowell was second, a little bit behind A&M, but a lot closer than Purdue and Illinois were. So credit to that one. I think it was our best performing NASCAR contestant, I guess, or nominee for this year's awards. Next, we have worst coach of the year, and our nominees were Urban Meyer, Matt Nagy, Luis Rojas, and Jeremy Colliton, from the Chicago Blackhawks. And this one, I said the last one was not close. This one was a true blowout. 35 of the 45 votes went to Urban Meyer, who is our winner. Obviously, first season with the Jaguars, the controversy in the club, and winning very few games. He's out before he could even complete his first year. So Urban Meyer is the winner for that one, if you want to call it that. Next, we have championship win of the year. This one was pretty close. Nominees were the Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning going back to back, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning a Super Bowl, completing Tampa Bay, the Braves winning the World Series, and the Milwaukee Bucks winning for the first time since 1971. And the Tampa Bay Lightning edged out the other three Bs here. It was close. The Atlanta Braves actually wound up in second over the Bucks, which I found surprising. But yeah, I mean, we're all from Tampa here, and I think the Bucks was big, but maybe there are more Lightning fans on our social media. I don't know. Personally, I would have went with the Bolts, so and it makes sense. The Lightning do win this one here, and then the final one, maybe the biggest one, I guess you could say. Athlete of the Year nominees for this one were Kyle Larson, NASCAR champion, Tom Brady, Super Bowl champion, and still getting it done at this age. He's, I believe, close to the top of the league in passing touchdowns right now, right?
Right up there, yeah.
Yeah, he's still doing the thing. Giannis Antetokounmpo coming off an MVP and a ring, of course, and then Shohei Ohtani, MVP, Athlete of the Year, for the Associated Press. So it's no surprise here that Shohei Ohtani is GMs for Hire's Athlete of the Year. He did it on both sides of the ball. What he's done, we haven't seen in a very long time, not only in baseball, but in kind of all of sports. You don't really see people working two sides of the ball like Shohei Ohtani does. So he won that one. Second actually was Giannis. He just edged out Tom Brady by one vote. But yeah, our Athlete of the Year, Shohei Ohtani. And although it wasn't the play-by-play for these awards wasn't great, I apologize for that one. But yeah, these have been the GM's awards for the very first time. Yeah.
So we want to shout out everybody who was a part of those polls, both on Instagram and on Twitter. Everybody who put their votes towards it, we counted every single vote. That's just how everything ended up, and we ended up with those as our winners. We're always looking for different ways to include you guys. So if you guys want to either we've done a video in the past talking about fan hot takes. We would love to do that again. We did these awards where we had you guys vote on them. So we definitely would want to incorporate you guys as much as we can. So yeah, we'll go from there. Scott seems pretty happy about Ohtani winning Athlete of the Year. Mess around, Dave. What's going on, my man? Welcome to the stream. Justin, what about the female awards? That's something we got to work on. With some, we year one, maybe we give year two's got a female Athlete of the Year. We got to work on that. They definitely deserve to be up there as well. So hey, thanks for the suggestion, and we'll make sure to throw that in there. But going on to current day events. What's going on around the sports world right now? Of course, I think the biggest thing going on, other than COVID, outside of everything, obviously leagues, players, so on and so forth, are all getting picked off from COVID. But I think the biggest thing right now is probably the NFL season. The NFL season's coming up on week 17. And hey, shout out Julia for voting. She's great. We also want to, so week 17 is coming up. A lot of teams are getting into that playoff hunt. A lot of teams are getting into, I know the AFC is super packed for those final wild card spots. I mean, it is an absolute madhouse for what all is going on in the NFL right now. There's divisions on the line still. There's a lot of wild card spots. A lot of places can be made here in the final couple of weeks of the postseason. So I want to pull up the standings right now whenever I am sitting here thinking about it, because RJ, I want to go to you and we can talk a little bit about some of the teams right now that are currently in it or not. So currently right now, we'll start on the NFC side of things. Obviously, a couple, all the divisions are, not all the divisions, but at least one team from each division is clinched. The Cowboys, the Packers, and the Bucks have all clinched their division, with the Rams and Cardinals both clinching playoff spots. Now you're looking at an 8-7 Eagles team, an 8-7 49ers team, with 7-8 Vikings and the 7-8 Falcons and Saints. The NFC is looking a little bit busy. There's still two more teams up for grabs, looking like it's going to come down between San Francisco, Minnesota, Atlanta, and New Orleans to grab those last two spots. of those four teams, which two teams stand out to you that could find their way into extra football this season?
Well, I mean, you look at the San Francisco 49ers, they're by far and away the best team that you named. That's a legitimate playoff team. That's a team that you can't just sleepwalk over them in the first round of the playoffs. You're actually going to have to show up and actually play that game. The rest of those teams that you named, the Saints do not have a quarterback. The Falcons are an absolute joke. The Philadelphia Eagles might be the most inconsistent team in the entire league. The Minnesota Vikings just lost Adam Thielen, and last time I checked, Kirk Cousins is still their quarterback. So really, whoever gets that seventh spot in the NFC, you're really the sacrificial lamb for whoever ends up as that number two, which it could be Dallas, it could be Tampa, it could be the Rams. But I don't think that any one of those teams would really lose sleep over having to play the Saints or the Eagles or the Falcons if it comes to that, or even the Vikings. The 49ers, though, that team is red hot. I know there are other teams out here with big winning streaks like Miami, but right now this 49ers team, they found something. And I honestly don't really know what it is. I guess they're just all healthy. This team is moving. This team is doing what we thought they could do when healthy. They've gotten healthy at the right time. That is a legitimate playoff team. The thing that I want to see in the NFC is, what are these playoff matchups going to look like? To me, the seeding, who's at 2, who's 3, 4, 5, all that is way more important than who gets that seventh spot, because that seventh spot in the NFC this year really is a wasted spot. They're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter. Minnesota, Philly, Atlanta, New Orleans, none of those teams are doing anything. So really the seeding in the NFC is really what kind of interests me. And I want to see what these playoff matchups look like, because the NFC, those teams at the top, Green Bay, Dallas, LA, Tampa, those teams are elite. And we are going to have some really, really good playoff matchups in the second and even the third round of the playoffs over there.
I think that's fair to say. Matt, I'll turn it over to you on the NFC side of things. The Cowboys sitting currently at 11-4, as well as the Rams and the Buccaneers. The Cardinals already clinched at 10-5. Could it be a wild card spot? Could it be a division spot? We have yet to see, as well as the Packers at 12-3. So, like I said, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Bucs. Do you think the NFC favorite is amongst those 5 teams, or do you think it could be one of these teams that could slip into the wild card? Let me know what team out of the NFC side of things do you think could have a pretty fair lead?
Well, the NFC, it's tough because there's a lot of talent, minus probably the Eagles sitting in there right now. And the Niners are hot, but I don't know if I'm fully confident in them yet. I know Justin mentioned it. Jimmy Garoppolo's still a big question mark there. And I don't think he's the guy in San Francisco. And I'm sure a lot of people agree with me. But do I think the favorite is amongst those teams mentioned? Yeah. It's going to get tough during the playoffs because you have teams like the Packers who notoriously choke in big spots. Aaron Rodgers has come up short countless times in his NFL career. And then you have teams like the Cardinals who collapsed last season. And it feels like we're kind of waiting on a collapse now because these last few weeks, they haven't really looked like themselves. Like I said, a lot of talent. You have teams like the Bucs who, despite battling some injuries, especially now, the wide receiver position's all messed up, from one of the best wide receiver cores in football to now, who's wide receiver 1 comes Sunday. There are many questions there, how they're going to carry that through the playoffs. Godwin's out for the season. Evans could potentially miss playoff time. There's a chance. And I think that's going to really define how far they go. The Rams have looked really good. Odell looks comfortable again. It's kind of showing that Baker Mayfield might have actually been the issue because that was the big controversy there when Odell left. But the Rams are finally putting it together, obviously acquiring Von Miller too. I know he didn't get his first sack till this past game or the one before it. It took him a couple weeks, but I think the Rams right now are the best built to go all the way to the Super Bowl right now. If the Bucs can, get past, the constant secondary issues and the wide receiver core now being injured, if they can get past that, I like them. Like I said, though, it's a lot of talent, and really, it could be anyone's conference. There's no clear-cut favorite like I think there is in the AFC.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of teams that could make something happen. As I'm looking throughout the comments here, Isaiah, thanks for joining us. Did Will Polson get a haircut? He looks different. No, I did not get a haircut. In fact, I am in desperate need of one.
You look damn good, though.
Hey, you can't deny that, though. I'm assuming it's the camera. I did get a new camera for Christmas. Shout out John and Georgiana, who got me a nice little webcam to make me look a little bit nicer here on the camera. So that could probably be it. Maybe it's just maybe I look real now and not digitalized. That could definitely be a part of it. Let's see. Cliff Kingsbury from Justin. Does he deserve to be fired? Does he deserve to be fired?
No.
What are we talking about here? No.
Go this one.
Coldest take. Matt Rule, does he deserve to be fired? Oh, here we go. I got a guy who can answer that question.
Matt Rule should have been fired Monday morning after they got blown out by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's more than just wins and losses. At some point, you have to realize that this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This guy is way in over his head. I think he was a fantastic college football coach. What he did at Temple, what he did at turning around Baylor, I think Matt Rule can be successful going back to college, which I don't consider a step down from the NFL. I just think it's different. This guy is in way over his head. He has absolutely no idea what he's doing. There is no plan. There is no nothing. He is winging it every single week. Just, we'll do this. Well, that didn't work. We're going to do this. It didn't work. Well, it took Jay-Z 7 years to be good, so just be patient. No, bro, this is the NFL. Ain't nobody patient, okay? You don't know what you are doing. They gave up multiple draft picks for Sam Darnold, a guy that wasn't any good on the Jets. Y'all think y'all got some kind of secret sauce to where Sam Darnold's going to be good now. Guess what? He sucks there. So what did they do? They brought back Cam Newton, the guy that you got rid of in the first place. Before getting Teddy Bridgewater, getting rid of him, getting Sam Darnold, all this just to bring Cam Newton back. That comment, Cam Newton's been a terrible teammate. Cam Newton has actually been the best teammate on the Carolina Panthers because Cam Newton could have went up there in these press conferences and just lit Matt Rule up. He could have lit the offensive line up. He could have lit Joe Brady up, and he has been the bigger man. He's been just awesome. He hasn't thrown anybody else under the bus. He has just gone about his business. He's put the blame on him instead of deflecting it on everybody else, which Matt Rule has done. Matt Rule doesn't go up there and say, oh, we should have coached better. He was like, no, these guys messed up. This is what happened. Matt Rule doesn't know what he's doing. To get back to the original argument, yes, Matt Rule should be fired. We only have 2 more weeks left of Matt Rule being a Carolina Panthers head coach, and he'll be out, and they'll be looking for a new one.
Cam Newton said
hey, I'm glad we were getting there. He did say he was back, and that went poorly afterwards.
And he's back. Is he not back?
He is back.
Physically, yes.
And he had a rushing touchdown in, 5 or 6 straight games?
Something like that.
Has he even played 5 or 6 straight games?
I think he's played.
Come on, where's your Matty stat at?
That feels like a lot. My guess is 4 or 5 sounds right. Let me see.
Here's one from Isaiah, away from the Carolina Panthers for a minute. He said, would you give Baker a huge extension or move on from him this offseason, which is a decent segue into the AFC side of things. Currently, the Browns are sitting at 7-8 at the bottom of the AFC North, just half a game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, of course, tied with Detroit earlier in the season. That ends up being the difference maker. A lot of speculation that Mr. Mayfield is that he is donezo out there in Cleveland. But let's just jump into the playoff picture first before we go into that, because it is a monstrosity. Currently, the only team in the AFC that is clinched is Kansas City. They have officially clinched their division, and that is it. No other team has even clinched a playoff spot. Currently, we have the Bills and the Patriots both at 9-6 in the AFC East, with the 7-win straight Dolphins at 8-7,
Hot.
right behind them. Then we have the Chargers and the Raiders at 8-7, both behind the Chiefs, along with the Broncos at 7-8. We have the entire AFC North division, which has the Bengals at 9-6, the Ravens at 8-7, the Steelers 7-1, the Browns 7-8. And then two teams in the AFC South really going at it: the Titans and the Colts at 10-6 and 10-5 and 9-6 respectively. So the AFC is busy, to say the least. It's looking like obviously the Bills and the Patriots, Bills, Patriots, Dolphins are going to be fighting it out for the division. If one of those teams wins one more game, then that team will have then Miami will basically be eliminated from the division win, but they could still go out and grab the wild card. Right now, you're dealing with, looks like, 5 teams with 8 wins or more in second or third place throughout the divisions. That being the Dolphins, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Ravens, and the Colts, all coming in. Not to mention the Patriots, who also have 9 wins. I mean, there is just so much that needs to be straightened out. So I'll start off with the AFC North, just because Isaiah mentioned Baker. Currently, they are 7-8. They still have the Steelers and the Bengals. So some interdivisional games. The Bengals are at 9-6. They have the Chiefs, who are locked up, trying to get home field advantage. I mean, this division, nobody has an easy schedule on the way out. Even the Ravens have Rams and Steelers. Steelers, of course, have Ravens and Browns. I mean, it is absolutely packed. So right now, with the Bengals 1 game up over the Ravens and them 1 game up over both the Steelers and Browns, RJ, I'll start with you. What do you see of that division alone? Because that division is it's going to kind of make or break this whole entire playoff picture.
Yeah, no, the AFC North, I think the biggest thing about them right now is Cincinnati's healthy. Obviously, if Lamar Jackson was healthy, if the Baltimore Ravens as a whole were healthy, I think they would have ran away with this division. I think they'd be fighting for the number 1 seed. The Baltimore Ravens have looked so much better this season than I thought they would. They have dealt with so many injuries on defense. Lamar Jackson has been out for a couple games now. J.K. Dobbins obviously going down in training camp. There are injuries in the wide receiver room. Baltimore, if they were 100% healthy, I think they would be one of the Super Bowl favorites. I think that's how good that team is. But they're not, and so that's why this is a story now. Cincinnati's healthy. They're young. They're fun to watch, and they're going to win that division. Baltimore could still sneak into the playoffs, but it's tough. Like you said, I think there's only 3 teams in the AFC that are like eliminated, right? Like the Jaguars,
so far,
Texans, and Jets.
Yeah.
Everyone else has a chance, and that's ridiculous. So I have no idea who's going to make the playoffs in the AFC. I guess I would have to have the schedules in front of me and just tell you who's going to win this and lose that, because it's wild right now. But I will say for the AFC North, Cincinnati is the best team right now. Baltimore, if they were healthy, we'd be having a different conversation. Pittsburgh, if you watch any of our Pick'em videos, you know how I feel about Pittsburgh. I think they're a pretty solid team, but that old man number 7 playing quarterback is not going to get it done for them. And to circle back to the original question here, Baker Mayfield getting an extension would be an absolute joke. This guy is not good. Baker Mayfield is straight up not a good quarterback. And I'm not overreacting to the fact that he had 4 interceptions against the best team in the NFC. It's the fact that he could have had like 5 or 6 in that game, and the fact that this Cleveland Browns roster is good enough to have a deep playoff run and maybe even go to a Super Bowl. But they have one problem, and it's that guy playing quarterback for them. I look at the Cleveland Browns a lot like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before they got Tom Brady. they actually had a good roster. You had big name guys on defense. You had really good receivers. You had a solid team. You don't have the right guy leading that team. And if the Cleveland Browns can just pull the trigger, make a big move, and go get themselves a quarterback this offseason, I'm saying go get Derek Carr. I'm saying go get Russell Wilson. Go do whatever you got to do. Go big. This team can win a Super Bowl, but not with Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is more worried about being in television commercials than he is about being a good quarterback.
Hey, I mean, looks like you're not alone here. Justin out here joining you saying Baker is a bust. And I know you mentioned, while you were breaking down that division, I know you mentioned our pick'em videos. Folks, if you're on the Coast to Coast stream, or if you're on the stream that's going straight to my profile, you'll see the pinned comment right here is the link to our YouTube channel. Currently at 466 subscribers. We've been doing very good, and a very big push here at the end of the year. We've gained over 300 subs this year alone. We're looking to try to continue to add to the family. Make sure you just go over, click the link, and then just go ahead, hit that big red subscribe button. You'll get to see all of the content that we do away from the lives, which is always a lot of fun. That's where our main content is. All of our main content's going to be on that channel. That's where you can find our pick'em videos, our pick'em predictions, our Hall of Fame videos, breakdowns of major signings, whatever it is that comes up that we feel needs to be covered, we cover it on that channel. So make sure you go ahead, go join that family, go over there, click that link, hit the red subscribe button, even hit the bell icon. That way whenever we're uploading. We do typically post pick'ems on Thursdays at Thursdays at noon, noon Eastern time. Now we are pushing that back a little bit this week because we do not have a Thursday night game. But we do have we do have the pick'em video coming out tomorrow at noon instead. But all right. But yeah, Matt, obviously a lot of teams going on, fighting for a lot of stuff in the AFC. I'll just ask you a little bit more blatant. Obviously, the Chiefs are the only team that is clinched right now. So far, they're the only one with a playoff spot clinched 100%. Do you think they're the favorites in the AFC, or do you like another team, or maybe even a group of teams?
Right now, I think the Kansas City Chiefs have to be the favorite in the AFC. There were, those few weeks where we thought they were kind of sputtering out, but they've clearly held things together a lot more consistently than some of the other teams. And a lot of the other teams here are in situations that are kind of unpredictable. The Bills and Patriots are still fighting for seeding at this point. I do believe both will be playoff teams in the end, but where they'll land here, who they'll wind up playing, is the big question. The Bengals sitting at 9-6, they've been good, and I've enjoyed what they've done this year. They've definitely caught a lot of people's attention. Joe Burrow having a fantastic year. Joe Mixon, great. Jamar Chase has been a standout, really. Maybe rookie of the year. There's a chance. They've really been able to put everything together. I hope they win that division because it'll be nice to see a different face in the AFC North, because we've seen those three other teams kind of shift positions among playoffs in the past several years. I don't think the Dolphins will make the playoffs, and they're not going to be a favorite anyway. The Titans probably, the Colts also probably. I like the Chargers though. They're sitting right outside in the hunt right now, but games they have left, Broncos and Raiders, I do think those are two winnable games for them. They've been pretty inconsistent, but I do think they have the tools to be a playoff team. A deep run, not yet. Not that sold on the Chargers, but to answer your main question, yes, the Chiefs are the team to beat in the AFC, clear-cut favorite, and it's going to be a tough task to take them down.
I'm glad you said something about the Dolphins. The Dolphins is kind of like the one team that I think is kind of pretenders in this, and it's mainly just because I understand they've won 7 straight, but I'm looking back at their winning streak, and it started with the Texans, which congrats. The Ravens was a good game, 22-10. I'll definitely give them that game. They held Lamar Jackson to 26 of 43, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And that was mainly with Jacoby Brissett. That was whenever he got to come in relief in that game. But then, I mean, it is a cakewalk. It's Jets twice, it's Giants, it's the Ian Book Saints, and it's the Carolina Panthers, in which Cam Newton went 5 for 21, and then PJ Walker came in, went 5 for 10. So altogether 10 for 31. If you don't win that game, then there's some explaining to do. But that's just whenever you're looking at it, yes, the Dolphins are playing great, but they're also not playing anybody really worth a damn. Tua's playing a lot better than he typically does. I mean, but still, his stats still don't jump off the page. Even in this game against the Panthers, 33-10, which looks to be their largest margin of victory during this win streak. 23 would be their largest margin of win streak and largest margin for a victory in this winning streak. Even then, he still went 27 for 31, which is absolutely crazy, but only 230 yards and 1 touchdown. So it's not like Tua is like jumping off the page at you. You know, he's playing good football. He's being conservative. They're doing what's right over there to win football games, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. And then they even have to finish out against 2 tough opponents who are fighting for playoff lives, and that being the Titans and the Patriots. So good luck to you there. It looks like Justin's pretty confident in one team, or he says 2 teams in particular, the Titans and Colts, but very confident in Jonathan Taylor in the MVP. Again, that's another good segue to the channel. RJ and I last week, or last Pick'em video, talked about how we don't understand how Jonathan Taylor's been overlooked so far, so long in his career. That man received no Heisman love, no nothing love, really. It was even the running back by committee when he first came in, and he is by far and away the best running back in that backfield, and by far and away a top 5 running back in the league. So it's absolutely crazy to see what he's been able to do this year, and the fact that really on the national stage, I feel like he just hasn't necessarily gotten the recognition that he deserves. Thank you, Justin, for commenting that. But yeah, I mean, the NFL is going to be getting really tight here in a minute. It's going to be getting very, very top heavy, especially in the AFC. Things are going to get really weird. And there's going to be a lot of good teams that miss out, but this was the same situation last year. Even with that, the 3 wild card spots, we still saw, a Cardinals team last year in the NFC that didn't make it. And they were only like 1 game behind the Bears, and, easily were a better team, and all this. Like, there's just so much. I mean, there's still plenty of good teams throughout the league, but I'm going to scroll up to the top and actually go to Matt on this one. This is some Chelsea news. I know you are our Chelsea fan, but this was the OG comment that Justin left before the show even started. He wanted to know about this little situation, and I know you are our resident soccer guy, so I'm going to go to you and have you answer your opinion for Justin.
Okay, so glad to talk about this. Thanks for commenting, Justin. Romelu Lukaku recently, he did speak out, kind of saying he doesn't like Thomas Tuchel's system with Chelsea. He's their manager. Obviously, we got Lukaku from Inter Milan, just months ago. The next transfer window, I don't see us getting rid of Lukaku. I don't know why we would. He doesn't like the system, but he did say, he'll play through it. He'll be a professional. He did express interest in going back to Inter Milan. He was surprisingly open in this interview that he did. And I understand, that, you're the star striker on a team like Chelsea. You're on a big stage, as Lukaku has been most of his career. I see why he would want things built around him, but that's not the right system for Chelsea. And a system that we're running is slightly more defensive based than I think Lukaku would want. We don't focus more. We don't emphasize the strikers, the front two, as much as I'm sure Lukaku would like, because it would get him a little bit more action. But Lukaku's been good for us so far. I mean, Chelsea had a great start to the season. They've kind of fallen out now. They're now 8 points off the top of the table, which is held by Manchester City. And now a few of our defenders who were at the forefront of our success are coming down with injuries. So Chelsea's season's kind of slowly falling apart, and Lukaku expressing distaste with the current system and perhaps interest with heading back to Italy is not something that Chelsea needs right now. They've been dropping too many games against teams that are not up to their caliber, and these draws on paper are not a bad thing, but when Manchester City is beating these same teams and you need to keep up with them, it's just not going to be enough. So Lukaku wanting to leave is probably the least of Chelsea's worries right now. It's keeping up with the table and making sure you're in a good spot for Champions League next year. You want to be at top 4, and at the rate Chelsea's going, they keep falling. That might not happen unless you get that together. But Lukaku wanting to leave, I'm not terribly concerned.
Seems like Justin's pretty much on the same page with you. So he's saying it's not the system for Chelsea, as well as saying Chelsea does not need this right now. So seems like you might be agreed upon. Shout out to so what else is going on, Matt? What else you got going on here? We got some time to kill. We still got some minutes. Definitely, it's been a while since we've been live. Forgot what it's like to fill an hour.
Yeah. This is different. What's going on? I'm currently working on a video for the channel that I wanted to drop Saturday on New Year's, but it's looking like the amount of effort I'm putting into this might delay it a couple of days. So I expect it sometime next week at the latest. It is another baseball.
Did we lose him?
Oh,
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Roo.
Can't spill the beans yet. It's a surprise. Who knows?
Yeah,
what's the video
it's another what?
Yeah, you're just gonna have to find out next week.
Okay, I could say. Okay, so from you saying that, I know when I cut out. It's another baseball video, which is my forte. Did I already mention that I might delay it? Did I say that already?
Yes.
Okay, so that part was before that. Okay, yes. So it is another baseball video. It's what I love, so I'm going to talk about it. I am very excited for that. Keep an eye out. But on social media or anything like that, on New Year's, we do have something, a visual piece, I guess you could say, dropping for the channel, and it'll kind of go through this 2022 year. So keep an eye out for that. That's something I'm really excited about. We worked with a third party to create this, and it's really cool. So if you haven't yet, follow the social medias at GMs for Hire, and keep an eye out because there's some cool stuff coming real soon.
Yeah, you can definitely catch it right down here on the little scrolling ticker. It talks about where our Instagram, our Twitter, and everything is, where you can go follow us. We do have a video coming out that Matt is working on. Another one of the kind of similar to the top 10 baseball, Hall of Famers, the one that just won the award for best thumbnail earlier. Our most recent video.
10,
no, it is not a top 10, but it is a similar format. Kind of very visual, very voiceover heavy, as well as I'm working on one of those myself. So we've got some videos coming out here that are going to be a little bit different, a new style that the channel's kind of trying out. And from what it seems, the top 10 Hall of Famers is soon to eclipse 400 views. So seems like people are enjoying the content. So we'll be continuing with that format until proven otherwise, and going forward into 2022. Going to be a few different things going on in 2022, and that's kind of part of the visual thing that you will be looking for on the new year on our social medias and everything such as that. So that'll be fun. I got a question from Scott. What bowl sponsor would you want to dump their stuff on your head? And I'm assuming this is in reference to the Duke Mayonnaise Bowl, watching the South Carolina coach getting absolutely drenched with a Gatorade jug full of mayonnaise. RJ, what bowl game would you want to be in to get that the Chick-fil-A bowl?
Yeah, put me in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. You can dump Chick-fil-A sauce on me, dump a Chick-fil-A peach milkshake on me, whatever you want to do. Definitely put me in the Chick-fil-A bowl for sure.
Come on, you don't want to be in like the I don't know, the the Liberty Bowl or something.
The
just straight America.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl. They just dump a
bunch of wrenches on you
on your head.
Motor oil.
Yeah.
Motor
Why
oil.
not?
Yeah. Well, that's like the Valero Alamo Bowl last night. I'm pretty sure Valero's a gas station, isn't it?
It is a gas.
Dump gasoline on them.
It's an oil company. Yeah. Why not?
That's a tough one.
Come on. Come on. It'll be fun. Let's see. Thoughts on the bad refs at the Purdue game today?
He's right.
He is right. RJ, take us through that.
The end of this. What was that bowl game? The Music City Bowl with Tennessee and Purdue just a couple hours ago. Ended up going to overtime. Tennessee went for it in overtime to get a touchdown because neither one of these teams was getting held to a field goal. So you definitely had to go for the touchdown. Anyway, running back is going in. It's 4th and goal, and the referees blow the whistle and say that his forward progress had stopped, which wasn't the case. And he ended up scoring on that play. And, of course, it gets reviewed and upheld and all this. And Tennessee gets screwed out of what would have been a touchdown in overtime. And Purdue goes to kick the game-winning field goal, and they win. That was a tough deal. I didn't like that. That was absolutely a touchdown, Justin. You can't – you got to wait for the play to finish before you blow your whistle. Don't tell me his forward progress was stopped. The play is still happening. That forward progress was not stopped yet. Tennessee absolutely got hosed in their bowl game today.
I understand forward progress if teams are literally at a standstill, but I mean, or say that, you get to a point and they start pushing backwards. But if you're at a standstill and feet are still going hard, let them duke it out. The whole thing is to get them on the ground. I mean, it's basically just kind of like not necessarily a game of tug of war, but at the same time, it almost is like a game of tug of war. I mean, what's the injury concern? All you're doing is you're putting your head down and you're turning your feet. I mean, if you fall down, the whole thing goes down. It's a dog pile. That's just tackling. That's just what it is. I mean, that's just the game of football. That's definitely something that's got to be fixed. I did not get to see that game, but from the response out here in the comments section, definitely seems like the general consensus is that was a very piss poor call.
Oh, absolutely.
And Scott says that the peach milkshake's a good shout. He says
that's the
great
best
idea.
part of summertime is Chick-fil-A's peach milkshake. Let's be real. If you haven't tried it yet, go try it. I don't even work for Chick-fil-A, and they don't sponsor me. They're not telling me to tell you this, but their peach milkshake is one of the greatest things ever invented, ever.
Have you had the tortilla soup that they have in the wintertime?
Not really a big soup guy.
Don't need to be, man. It's good
I've
stuff.
heard good things.
Just give me chicken sandwiches and milkshakes.
And Will, what are you getting dumped on you, though?
Oh, God. I'd have to look more at all the bowl games. I mean, the Chick-fil-A sauce bath definitely sounds kind of appealing. I mean,
I'd do that just for fun.
You know what? Tell you what. We'll put out a tweet, 10 retweets, Chick-fil-A sauce bath for RJ.
Oh, man.
Do we need to bump it up? Do we need to bump it up a little bit past 10?
We might have to.
We'll figure it out. We'll find out a number. Let's see. There's all types of bowl games are just so fun nowadays, though. There's so many there's so many people that have a bowl. Like Jimmy Kimmel has a bowl.
Sugar Bowl. Just
sugar wouldn't be bad. What if I pick the Myrtle Beach Bowl? Is that going to be sand and water? That's just
no. You have to go get baptized at Myrtle Beach.
Oh, well, that's not fun. I don't want to get baptized.
That's what that is.
Hey, give me the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco bowl.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'll take some strawberry banana smoothies all over me. That'll do me good. I can get away with that one. I'm a little bit more of a strawberry banana than a peach guy, so I'll go with that one. That'll be fine. Oh, or maybe Tax Act, so I can do some W-2s or something.
What about the Outback Bowl? Have some
W-2s.
Throw a blooming onion on me.
Throw a blooming onion on me. How about that?
If anybody watching,
I'm creating my own bowl game for that. Sorry. The Pep Boys Yum Yum Bowl is where how many Pep Boys are there? Three Pep Boy mascots get 3 big Gatorade things of yum yum sauce and just pour that shit on you. It sounds magical in my head, and the Pep Boys are pretty
Pep
funny.
Boys Yum Yum Bowl.
Yeah,
Write it down. Write it down. Yeah.
Denver,
Here we
Colorado
go.
next year.
If the channel gets a 1,000 subs, RJ do the Chick-fil-A sauce dump?
Yes,
Do it. Absolutely.
It'll happen.
The channel gets
down.
1,000 subs, we might all do it.
I'll do anything for 1,000 subs, really.
Yeah, right, dude. You know, pick a sauce, any sauce. I'll go at it. You know, I tell you what, for 1,000 subs, I'll let Scott choose what gets dumped on me. We'll be all right.
Oof.
It's got to be a liquid. It's got to be a liquid. Please don't do solids. I'm not trying to go to the potato bowl, get knocked the hell out. You know,
start chucking bugs at your head. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm not trying to get hit in the head and just pass out. I want to enjoy these subs. Seeing Justin in the comments talking a lot about hockey players, talking about not going to the Olympics. Brad Marchand pissed about it as well. I haven't looked too much into that. Matt, do you know a little bit about the backstory of that situation?
I mean, yeah, it's not really about the backstory. It's just they're pulling out because of COVID concerns and all that. It sucks for players like Marchand, like Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman, who are at that point in their careers where they're at a great point in their game, and this was probably their last opportunity to show what they have on a national stage, be able to represent their country. So, for any NHL player that is missing out on this, especially the ones that are in, like their mid-30s, it's a real bummer. And I definitely understand why Marchand is upset. And, he kind of opened up about that. He was pretty public about his thoughts, and other players have spoken on it, but Marchand being, the outspoken guy he is, he kind of laid into what the NHL is doing with that. And I definitely understand why they're holding them out. Obviously, the NHL's regular season has to be most important. And in this case, I would, my suggestions, bring back the World Cup of Hockey. We had that a few years back. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was something different. Baseball has the World Baseball Classic. What was that?
Oh, he died.
I don't know. I thought it was noise. Oh, you caught? That scared the shit out of me. I don't remember where I was. Yeah, the sport itself having something separate from the Olympics, because I mean the Olympics they're cool. It's every 4 years, but some countries hold out for bigger reasons, and there's always some controversy with the Olympics. Let me get hockey players playing hockey and representing their country, on a different stage. The World Cup of Hockey is perfect. I would like that as an alternative to the Olympics, but yeah, overall it's a real bummer.
Fair enough. Seems like some people are starting to make their way out. We don't necessarily have too much content lined up, and the awards I thought was going to take a little bit more time. So if you want, we can jump. No, it's okay. No, it's all good.
Next year will be better for the awards. I promise. Now I know what I need to do better, and I'll orchestrate that better.
Do you want to jump into the Final Four?
Yeah, I mean, we can, and then if Justin or Scott or anybody thinks of anything else, we'll answer it as they come in.
Perfect. So the Final Four this week, the topic brought to you by Matthew Perry. He thought of it. He texted me earlier and said, for our Final Four, since we're getting ready to start a new year, 2022, we are each going to give you 4 of our sports predictions for 2022. RJ, since this is the first time you're hearing about it, we'll go to you last.
Thank you.
Matt, did you have a couple in mind already, or do you want me to start throwing them out here?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Let's hear it.
2022. Hopefully, given we have an MLB season, Juan Soto leads the league in batting average. That's one. Jonathan India will be a starting National League All-Star. I'm pretty excited about that one. What else do we have? Roger Federer will win another major in 2022, despite all of his injuries. I'm praying. And a fourth one. Well, Will, give me 2, and then I'll come back to my last one.
Okay. Well, my first one, Mine are kind of hot takes. I saw Justin say top 4 hot takes. Mine are a little bit steamy, at least the ones I had thought about. Number one, we're not going to have any back-to-back champions. That's not going to happen. The Bolts will not three-peat. The Bucks will not repeat. The Braves will not repeat. And I'm gonna assume Kyle Larson doesn't win another national. I'm assuming the Bucks aren't gonna repeat. We're gonna get a new set of champions. We're gonna finally get. Hell, we might even not get the same national champion in college football. That'd be crazy. We finally got a non-Power 5 team in there, so who knows what could happen. But that is one. No repeats. Unfortunately, the dynasty has to end. The Bolts are done.
No.
Not necessarily done. We're still gonna have a deep one, but we're not gonna walk away with it all. Specific. You told me to give you 2. My second one. The Mets are a first round exit. The Mets make the playoffs. Congratulations. You have the greatest 1-2 punch in pitching. You have some of the greatest pitching one of the greatest pitching duos we've seen since the 90s. That means nothing to me. That means literally nothing to me. One of them, we saw that Scherzer was getting a little tired. We've seen DeGrom with injury issues, and the Mets are going to Met. They're going to be in first place after April and probably May. Where are they going to be after June? Who knows what's going to happen? Those are my first 2 that came to mind. If you want to get your last one out of the way, Matt.
Yeah, I mean it's not a realistic prediction, but since we're having fun with it, Braden Point will win the MVP next year for the NHL. I would love to see it, although it's unrealistic. He's so good. He'll forever be underrated. So Braden Point.
One of mine's a little unrealistic too, but it's okay. As
the Bolts can totally three-peat, by the way. They can do it.
I mean, if they do, I'll be happy. But I'm starting to run out of room for these kind of flags.
It'll floor me if they get eliminated. I don't remember what it's like for them to, not win a Stanley Cup. It's been so long.
Another bold prediction I have is that oh man, I had one. Anyway, friend of the pod, Carson Ragsdale will continue dominance in the minor leagues and make his way to the pro squad this year. He will find his way at some point on the Giants this season, probably September call-ups in a bullpen role. Don't be shocked if it happens. Him and his squad were champions in their division last year. They also had the pitching staff with the most amount of strikeouts. Don't be shocked to see him continue to rise up. Oh God, I don't know. RJ, throw in a couple. I know you had a chance.
If you thought that last year's NFL offseason was tumultuous, wait till you see what happens this year. Because I think Deshaun Watson will get traded. I do think Russell Wilson will get traded. I think Aaron Rodgers will force his way out of Green Bay after another disappointing playoff loss. And with Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay, that will make Devontae Adams leave Green Bay. Pittsburgh is going to be looking for a quarterback. The NFL is going to have a ton of movement in this upcoming offseason. So I would definitely be on the lookout for that. You have these teams with multiple first-round picks. Giants and Jets have 2 first-round picks. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks. It's going to be a lot of movement in the draft, a lot of moving around. I think one of those teams could, not the Jets, but I do think the Eagles or the Giants could package some picks and maybe get one of those quarterbacks that I named. I think this offseason is going to get kind of wild. So that's one of them. That's very broad, but I do think this upcoming NFL offseason is going to be maybe more wild than last year's.
Okay. I don't hate that at all. Definitely need some offseason buzz in the NFL. Been a while since we've done that.
I'll give you another one.
Yeah.
Of all the talk, all the rumors, all everything, Freddie Freeman will re-sign with the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah,
let's
it'll
pray.
it'll
hope,
happen.
right?
It will happen.
That would
I just don't think he wants to leave Atlanta. I think obviously if Atlanta disrespects him, and New York or LA are going to give him stupid money, then obviously he would consider it. But I think in a perfect world, he's an Atlanta Brave for life. I think it will get worked out. Freddie Freeman will re-sign with the Atlanta Braves.
Agreed.
Give me the 3-man retirement tour. Give it to me. Give me Pujols, give me Waino, give me Molina, all going out at the same time, all on the same retirement tour. Let me get it. That's a bold. That's my other prediction for 2022. Pujols signs with the Cardinals. He comes home, and the 3 guys all go out in style, and it is a new age of Cardinal baseball after 2022. Even though we probably don't make the playoffs with those 3 old heads on our team.
If Pujols and Molina retire at the same time, they can get inducted in the same Hall of Fame election. Although I doubt Molina is a first ballot, and I would certainly hope that Albert Pujols is. But there's the possibility, and that's exciting.
I'd imagine Pujols has to be. I mean,
I hope so.
What are you going to say to Albert Pujols to not put him in the Hall of Fame? I mean, maybe I don't know what's going on, but I hope nothing. But hey, that should be it. That should be it for the next time. Top 4 worst sports teams in all of sports that should be relegated. We're gonna move NFL teams to the Canadian Football League. We're gonna move baseball teams to AAA. We'll do some relegations. David Ortiz first ballot. I don't know. Check out that video that's on our channel. That'd be fun. Yeah. Maybe you'll find out if he is a first ballot Hall of Fame. At least what we think. Anyway, folks, we're back. We are finally back. It's been a long time. I don't remember couldn't even tell you the last time we went live. It's been that long. But we're happy. We're happy to be back. Thank you to everybody who voted on the polls and was a part of the votes, who could help give back to the channel a little bit. If you want to continue to give back to the channel, of course, hit that pinned comment. Come hit the red subscribe button. Come join the family. Come watch all of our content. That's the easiest way to show your support, and the easiest way to show that you are a fan of GMs for hire, whether that be you're a fan of RJ's blatantness or Matt's soft, soothing voice, or just me just being here to be here. Whatever it is, maybe you like Jamil's hair or his fedoras, whatever the case may be, or his twins, whatever it is that you like about him. Or anybody here, come show the support by subscribing to the channel. Definitely the easiest way to do it. But until then, we're gonna strive to be a little bit more consistent on the lives. Obviously, life and other things come up. It is what it is. But we are happy to be back here this time. For Jamil King, who couldn't be here, for RJ Stroke, for Matt Perry, Will Polston, this has been GMs for Hire Live. And we will catch you guys the next time we are on here. Y'all take it easy.
Love you.